Mass Effect as a game has a lot more to offer than just romances and squad mates. It has multiple different playstyles across the original trilogy, and while there is no right way to play Mass Effect, each of the classes your Commander Shepard can take have their pros and cons. In this series, I'll analyze the abilities, strengths, and weaknesses of each class across the Mass Effect trilogy to help you determine how you want to save the galaxy from the threat of the Reapers. Time to wreak havoc with the Vanguard. In Mass Effect, the Vanguard combines Adept and Soldier, giving them access to firepower and biotics. Starting out, Vanguards can use pistols, which allows them to use the Marksman talent. At Pistols level 6, Vanguards will unlock their ace weapon, the Shotgun, which gives them access to Carnage. As a hybrid between Adept and Soldier, Vanguard gets access to some of both classes' talents. Vanguards have Assault Training, which increases their weapon damage and melee damage, and through it, Vanguards get Adrenaline Burst, which resets the cooldowns on their talents. For Vanguards, this can let them reuse their biotic talents without waiting for a cooldown. Through Tactical Armor, Vanguards get access to Shield Boost, and at level 7, Vanguards can use Medium Armor, offering a balanced amount of protection in combat. Vanguards have Throw, which allows them to keep enemies at a distance, which can be combined with Lift to increase your chances of an instant kill. Vanguards can also use Warp, allowing them to lower a target's armor, deal damage over time, and it can keep a Krogan from regenerating. And for extra bulk, Vanguards get Barrier to strengthen their shields. Vanguards specialize in increasing their biotic protection and increasing the damage of their guns, making them resistant to enemy biotics while increasing their own firepower. Vanguards lack tech talents and they aren't very effective at long ranges. You will want squad mates to cover those areas. Enlisting Garrus will be a wise choice. He has access to assault rifles, sniper rifles, and well-rounded tech talents. Vanguard is a great class if you want to experience the best of both Soldier and Adept, allowing you to fight head-on with guns and biotic power. In Mass Effect 2, Vanguards move from being a hybrid and find their own identity as a high-risk, high-reward class focused on closing in on enemies and destroying them. Vanguards have access to SMGs, pistols, and their ace weapon is still the shotgun. To complement their weapons, Vanguards have incendiary ammo, allowing them to burn through armor and set organics on fire. Vanguards also get access to cryo ammo. With it, they can freeze targets, making them more vulnerable to gunfire and biotics. In terms of crowd control, Vanguards get shockwave and pull, letting them render enemies helpless. But let's be honest, we're here to talk about the Vanguard's signature attack, Biotic Charge. Charge allows Vanguards to fly across the battlefield and collide with their target. Unprotected enemies will be sent flying backwards and take massive damage. And if comboed with Pull or Singularity, it will make enemies fly away even further. Charge will also instantly restore your shields upon impact, keeping you in the action longer or saving you in a clutch moment. At its maxed rank, Heavy Charge will create a time dilation effect, which will let you line up your killing blow. The Vanguard's passive is Assault Mastery, increasing your health, weapon damage, lowering your cooldowns, and allow you to increase your power damage or power duration. Vanguards are extreme close combat specialists, and naturally that means they are ineffective at long range. Oftentimes, Vanguards will not be able to charge their targets because they are on an elevated platform out of range. There are unfortunately numerous situations where charge is useless.
Can't get a lock.
Charge has a lot of reward, but it also comes with a lot of risk. It is very easy to charge and get totally dominated by the enemies around you. On top of that, Vanguards have no powers to deal with various health types. Only incendiary ammo lets them target armor. They have no answer for shields and barriers, and protected enemies do not fly away from charge. You already know, pick up Miranda for her overload and warp powers. I also recommend Mordin for his incinerate skill to burn through armor, cryoblast to freeze enemies, and neural shock to stun foes. Vanguard is often considered the most fun and best class to tons of players. But of all the classes, this is probably the least kind to new players. If you don't know what you're doing, you will have a bad time, and one mistake could be your downfall, especially on Insanity mode. But all of that aside, when the Vanguard starts cooking, they cook. With the weight capacity in Mass Effect 3, Vanguards sit comfortably in the middle, not as high as soldiers but still higher than Adept and Engineer. This allows Vanguards to equip shotguns without suffering longer cooldowns. But don't carry too much because you live and die by your cooldowns. Vanguards still have cryo and incendiary ammo, which lets them prime targets for explosions. Vanguards keep Pull and Shockwave, two great powers for setting up and detonating biotic combos. Charge returns with some added bonuses, like Weapon Synergy, increasing your weapon damage for a short time after a successful Charge. At its maxed rank, Charge has a 25% chance of not going on cooldown, letting you use it again right away. Or you can increase your barriers by 50%. The Vanguard's newest power is Nova. It absorbs your barriers and delivers a powerful strike to the ground. Vanguards can level Nova so it only consumes 50% of your shields, but has reduced power. And at its maxed rank, Nova can pierce barriers, shields, and armor, or give it a 25% chance of not consuming your barrier. Charge and Nova are your bread and butter combo, allowing you to fly in on your target, recharging your shields, and maximizing the damage of your Nova. You can also throw in a shot with your gun and a melee attack for extra damage. If all is timed correctly, you'll be ready to charge again to bring your shields back up, and then rinse and repeat. Vanguard is still high risk, high reward. Timing is crucial, and if you misjudge, you're gonna have a bad day. It should be noted that many heavy enemies like brutes can one-shot Vanguards, making charging into them a foolish move, and harvesters are going to give you a real problem as well. Vanguards will need the help of a tech specialist to reduce shields and could use a teammate with long-range damage. Tally is great here. She can strip away shields, and her combat drone can distract foes, keeping some of the heat off of you if you charge into too many enemies. And Garrus is your best bet for long-range damage, and he has overload to destroy shields. Vanguard is the most dynamic class. It is wonderful for people who want more fast-paced combat. However, I wouldn't say it's a good class for beginners. Even as an expert, Vanguard can be very punishing on insanity difficulty.